We're excited tonight to share with y'all the design development for the new elementary school number 10. Tonight I've got with me from VLK Architects, Mr. Ravi Bengawan over there. He's part of our EDGE team at VLK. I got our project architect, Adrian. And then I've got Paul here. He's part of the design team with me. And some people that aren't here are the principal in charge, Mr. Charles Johnson, and Callie Watson, she's our interior designer, who is actually a Mag West graduate. So she's really excited to work on this project. Tonight we'll share with you some of the plans and exterior perspectives, floor plans, interior views, kind of go over our schedule, and then we're actually going to go through a 3D virtual walkthrough of the space. And then you guys can ask some questions. Anytime you want to ask some questions, you can ask them, and we'll answer the best we can. And but I would say right about now, we're at about the 50% design part of the project right now. We're like closing out what's called design development and going into construction documents. So we're right about the 50% mark of planning for the project. This project's going to be up in the Crescent development, up on the north side, off there off FM 1486 in Creston Parkway. And there'll be two main entrances from the development roads off of Kindred Pines Parkway up here. That'll be the bus drop and visitor parking. And then off Heartland Pass, there'll be the stacking for the parent drop-off, which will be here at the cafeteria. And then you'll have staff parking here. There's also several service entry points for there's trash collection and some other service points here. You can see here, this part of the school is the two-story academic wing. And off of that, this whole area right here is protected by fence, and where you'll have a nice area of play fields, playgrounds, and then in the area directly accessed from the wings, you'll have a turf play area. In that turf play area, there'll also be an outdoor learning pavilion. And so we've been working with the developer also on meeting their guidelines and working with them on also the exterior of the school. And so what you'll see here tonight is some of that development that we've had with them. So this is from the Kindred Pines Parkway view right here. And we worked with the developer to get entry canopy and the color, all the brick colors and the stone color to match a lot of what they're providing there at the Crescent development with all their amenities, buildings, and that way it starts to all talk the same language and look like it's part of the same neighborhood. And so part of the drop-off canopy, we have a nice opportunity to add the accent color for the school. And this is really that enlarged volume area for that beautiful library that's right when you first walk into campus. Over on the south part, that's a two-story academic wing, and there will be an exit out here to the play area that all the kiddos can come out that way. And then from the courtyard area, you can see this is the area from the central part of the plan and the art classroom where they could come out here to that turf area. What's not shown right here is that learning pavilion. We're still working with the design team trying to work on what that learning pavilion is going to be. And then this volume right here is the gym. So the gym has a nice exit point right out to that play area, which is really nice. Another view from that courtyard area. And then this is the parent drop-off area with a series of canopies. And we're extending some of those over. I know, Chris, you talked about that last time, right here. But we're still working on that to try to maximize the coverage at those points.
Okay. So what's immediately around this whole plot? Is it known?
There is going to be a heavily forested area here, a forest buffer, And there is actually 50 or 60-foot landscape buffers that are around the whole site. And this is all, most of the neighborhood is gonna be over to this side. And where I was showing where they enter off of this Creston, Parkway, that's more over on this side. So I would imagine, you know, they're still working on a lot of their development right now, but I would say most of the residential is gonna be over here and here with a really big landscape, or tree buffer right here.
Is it always gonna be tree buffer, or is it have?
I believe so, yeah, because they're gonna have walking paths, so we are showing a walking path that connects into the kids that are walking to school can come through there, because they are gonna be providing some type of path over there on that side of the site. So,
Right, that area to the plan south, or it's actually to the west, is all part of the drainage channel, so it'll remain in its natural state.
Okay.
Much like we have adjacent to Audubon, very similar.
So there won't be homes dotting the landscape all the way around?
No.
Okay.
yeah, no, there'll definitely be a large forested area here on this side of the campus. And there could possibly be homes here, but these are main roads for the neighborhood. Especially once you go up Legendary Boulevard, I believe that's where it connects to the Creston Parkway, so.
Hey Brad, hang on one second. I think I got ahead of myself. You need to like declare a quorum and call us to order and before we get too far down the road.
Okay. Are we gonna do invocation and pledges and all
No,
that?
we'll do that in the board meeting.
Yeah, but,
Just-
and give people a chance to speak in here.
Right, we don't do invocation and
That's what
pledges in
we do
here.
in there.
Okay. All right. So I call this workshop of the Magnolia Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this workshop has been duly called, and that notice of this workshop has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551.
We do not have anyone signed up.
Okay, we don't have anybody signed up to speak?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Carry on.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
So, is there any more questions on the exterior?
I just have, is there a view, and maybe not now, but of, like, I know when I was up at Creston recently, you know, they have a really, when you're looking at their houses, they have a kind of a overhead view of the entire neighborhood. It'd be kind of interesting just to see, like, this planting.
Where that fits in there?
Yeah,
I can talk to them after this meeting and see, I know they're still going through a lot of planning right now. I'll see if they have something that they have a pretty good idea of what that is, and we can definitely do that.
yeah. Cause when I was touring, you know, I knew because we had, but then when you layer it onto their view, it'd just be maybe nice for us to have when we're people facing and.
Yeah, overview.
Thank you.
Looking at the interior, the school is basically, like I said, there's a 2-story academic wing over here. And then, so you enter here at the lobby, and that media center is right at the middle. And then you've got your admin suite, your special life skills, and best. And then you have this block down here that has your noisy program, like your cafeteria, gym, art, music. So that way it's away from the classrooms. A couple things that on this particular school that we've been working on is developing the learning stair and a series of what we call exchange and think spaces that are integrated into the floor plan. And those are in that blue-green color. And what those are spaces where it provides an opportunity for teachers to have a diverse teaching spaces that suit different learning types and different learning opportunities. So you have a larger exchange space, and then you also have think spaces so you can pull like 1 or 2 kids in there. And it provides a different type of learning environment for the kids. And the teachers, they'll be able to develop lessons and curriculum to serve in those spaces. The other thing that's nice about these exchange of think spaces is that they're strategically placed in the center of the academic wing at the stairwells to bring the natural light from the outside into this main core. And then the other exchange space opens up right to that outdoor turf area. So you could do things where you have maybe some wet activities, messy activities that you could go in and out of that exchange space. The learning stair has been brought into the middle of the campus, and that really energizes this core right here of the school. And what's also nice is when you do have parents coming for events, maybe like after hours events or during a school play or performance, you have this nice pre-function space for people to spill out to. And it really becomes a collector area for, you know, any type of events that you have at the school. It also ties in right here to the media center. So one thing we are also trying to do is connect the LGIs to more integrated into the library. And also the makerspace, we brought it out here to the corridor, and you'll see when we do the walkthrough that we have some windows here into the makerspace, so when the kids are walking down the hallway, they're able to look inside and get excited about the curriculum going inside that space. On the second floor, we stack that LGI on top, and now you're able to bring in views from inside the library into the LGI. There's also opportunity for after school hours where we could shut this off right here, and staff, parents, or other events you could have held up here in this LGI. And you can see those exchange spaces are also stacked over there. There's also an admin suite on the second floor if the administration for that campus wants to use it that way. Here's a couple of views from inside, and like I said, we're gonna, after this, I got Paul here, he can walk us through it, the school. But this is the central area showing that learning stair. This is down the corridor. This is over here, this is that main teaching wall with the large magnetic white writing wall and screen. And you have another exchange space over here. This is over on the other side where you can see you can go right out to that play area. These stairs lead up to the second floor academic wing. And you can see right now that LGI up there too. So that large group instruction space is stacked, and you can see how the library now extends into the LGI, really connects that space. And you can see right here that maker space, so if the librarian does have a class in there, they can easily bring them in and out of that space and have good supervision. And so all this furniture in here, we can work on flexibility, and they can design that and lay that out however it suits best for the campus.
So guys, as y'all are looking at this, think like Audubon is kind of our base starting point. As you're walking through that building with the learning stairs and the library kind of right there at the front. That was kind of the basic footprint that all this started with, and I think you can see at several points just, you know, natural light, visibility, you know, functionality of the space. I think they made some really good improvements.
So this is as you're in that second floor age, large group instruction, and you can see multiple tech setups in there, screens, and if you do have set up some type of environment, meeting or environment, you're able to layer that on the first floor, second floor, and really connect the two groups. Here's your typical classroom. One of the things that we've worked a lot with Tim is try to improve the maintenance of the classroom year to year. One of the things that we've noticed that every year we have to come in and touch up the paint every year on these elementary classroom walls because they get beat up pretty bad. So we're looking at using a wall system here that about from 42 or 48 inches down. That'll be a protective material that will improve the longevity of the maintenance of that campus. But these are all the classrooms are set up with the casework, teaching wall, and marker boards. Here's an image of one of those exchange spaces I was talking about in the center of the campus. So you can see here there's two dedicated areas. There's a little reading nook, And then there's the think space that you can pull kids in there, 1 or 2 or 3 kids in there. But really it offers opportunity for, because you got kids that are all different learning styles, right? And so being able to provide that space for them and student choice is really important for the mental health of the students at the school. So looking at the project schedule, right now we're right here at the Design Development Board update. We're looking to issue the construction documents in right before the Christmas break. And then sometime in the February-March timeframe, we'll come back and we'll get a board approval to start construction, looking to open up in June of 2028. So with that, before we do the walkthrough, you have any questions? Or
Matt?
comments or questions?
Would you mind going back one slide? So, yes, I just wanted to take a picture of that. Thank you.
All right, so Mr. Paul here, go ahead. So one other thing I'll add is Denise gave us, they'd started working on some of the colorways for the campus. So as we develop that, you know, these are some of the colorways that the district's looking at going for this campus, which we think is a really nice color palette. So we'll start to develop that and assign materials for all of those.
Denise, could you talk for just a second about how that kind of fits with the overall Creston?
Yeah, so how we
motif?
got to those colors is when we looked at Creston's marketing materials, when you go to the boot house and you look at how they're marketing, their development, those colors all play into, their branding. And so it also ties into, we have to have a maroon, right? That's a non-negotiable. And then playing off the other colors, that tie in with that maroon, which still makes it fun for an elementary.
Yeah, we love it. It looks great. Mr. Paul, you want to switch it over to? So what we're about to show you, this is our actual, we use a program called Revit, which is a building information modeling software that we basically do all of our drawings in 3D, and we use a program here called Inkscape that we're able to like actually walk around the drawings. So what you're seeing right now is like where our drawings are out at the moment. And like I said, we're at about the 50% planning mark. So there could be some things in here that aren't totally fleshed out yet, so just take that. But it's a good tool to be able to visualize, and we use it a lot with our engineers and our other consultants to do some meetings and talk about the different, how all the systems are coming together. But Paul's gonna walk you down here to where the parents would be walking in from that drop-off. So we are adding some windows here. So there is a little bit of transparency from the hallway into the cafeteria, but the noise doesn't transfer. So there's a visual transparency, but the noise still stays within the room. And so if you are doing events, people could spill out into this hallway and into this new space right here for any type of events you have at the campus, which is really nice. And so what we have is we have this area here, which could serve, you know, maybe 2 classes. And then you have another area over here, which is a separate exchange teaching space that you could have maybe 1 class. So lots of different options here in this space. It opens up right here to the library. You got the full height marker board, because we all know that the height of the kids at this campus is, you know, you got the little kids and you got the older kids, so you got to be able to have the lower writing surface for the little kids. But we do have some clear story windows here to bring in natural light. And it's just nice space to be able to flow in and out from the main point. Moving into the library, you can see here, the library is usually broken up into areas, like you have working area, stack area, presenting area. So that all can be worked out with the librarian. But you can see here the layering of the different spaces. And all these openings right here do have coiling doors, so the library can be shut down if needed. So we'll work with Tim and if, you know, when you do have the purchasing department working on getting furniture, we can also helping with any layouts on that too. So that's the library, and Paul's gonna walk you over to the makerspace from the hallway, so you can see that.
Can I just say, I love the openness of the stairs.
I do
know
too.
in Audubon, it's kind of
It's kinda
shut off
tucked
on
away.
that one side.
Yeah.
I love the open of it.
Yeah.
Really nice.
It's really, it's kind of the same size, and it just, we shifted it
Mhm.
more toward the center.
Yeah.
So here's the makerspace. You can see those windows I was talking about right here from the hallway, so when the kids are walking by, they can see that space and we think it energizes that hallway. And then to the right over here is the exchange space that leads to the outside. So the teacher here has this space, they also have the think space over here, if they need to have a more, smaller meeting area. And then they can spill out here to the outdoor area. And then Paul's now gonna take you down the corridor. All the corridors will have the same tile wainscoting with the accent color on the top, tile.
Hey, no running in the halls.
Yeah. And so as we get here to the center of the academic wing, you can see those exchange spaces that open up, that are very accessible to all the teachers. You can go outside, and you got the different diversity of spaces here in the center. And also, we switched from the tile to the carpet, because that just mentally lets you're more able to sit down on the ground and when it's more of a softer surface. And so it also helps with the acoustics.
I really like the use of that space instead of just, a kind of double wide hallway, that there's some more structure to it. It's really good.
And we'll go into a typical classroom here. So you can see that. So these are all have hard floors in them with that wall panel system and your marker board, smart board, and tack boards. And then a vision panel under the door into the classroom. So any questions or comments?
The rooms that are more inside the middle of the school, do they have natural light, did you say then too?
The ones that are in the middle don't have natural light.
Like not in the, cause I noticed I see like
There's a
well,
couple
upstairs,
rooms.
there's ceiling,
Mo-
like, there looks like there's light coming in the hallway, so I just
Yeah.
didn't know if that came in at all in the.
Some of them, most of them are like the teacher planning rooms, flex rooms, bathrooms. Most of those are the rooms that we put in the core of the wing.
Okay.
There are a couple classrooms, but a majority of classrooms are around the perimeter.
Good, okay. I like that.
That's a good space there.
So you can see right here on the second floor, from the top of the learning stair, if you are gonna have an event after hours, when you get there to the top, look towards the LGI. You kinda have this little catch space here for people coming in and out of if you're gonna have a meeting there. And really be able to utilize this space. It's a little bit this space is a little bit larger than Audubon. Because we do have part of the room that's overhangs by a little bit in the library. But it'll be outfit with all the technology that you guys usually have in all your LGIs.
That's good.
Definitely a lot more glass, which is cool.
It's a lot nicer than my elementary school.
Right?
Yeah, a lot of the times too, with these elementary schools, it's nice to have these recognizable little events in the school where the child remembers and understands where they are in the school. So using color and material really helps with that. So we'll be working with our interior designer, Callie, to really, and like what you're seeing here is just a placeholder for materials. We're still gonna go through the process of selecting all that with Tim. But we did meet with, last week, and that's when we kinda got tipped off on some of the colors, so we're showing some of them now. So we'll still be developing this out and working with, we have a whole separate department at our firm that's called VLK Pixel, and they're focused on branding and graphics and the experience inside of a building. And so we'll bring them in and we'll locate where all the good potential spots for graphics are, and color and all that, and we'll make sure that it gets implemented into the school. Any other questions?
Beautiful work, yeah. Very exciting.
I think that part of the design right there, where the learning stairs come down, and it just opens up so much more. And then feeding right onto the kind of the back porch and that turf area is great.
Yeah.
I know there's some, I mean, nothing is in stone, but like, I think it was the library, I noticed like there was some taller, like, chairs around like U-shaped. I'm imagining for elementary, we'll bring those down
Yes.
lower. And
Yeah,
have kind
none of that has been,
Yeah.
all that
bedded
will
down.
mostly be selected, by, is it purchasing, Tim? Yeah, so I mean, but like I said before, we can work with, we just kind of put it in there as a placeholder so that
Yeah.
you guys can see it with the appropriate scale.
Right.
But yeah, that little teaching area where the teacher's at, there's
Yeah,
somehow
like
over here.
right there, yes. I was
Yeah.
thinking from elementary perspective, that would all be,
Yeah, there's lots of different furniture that you can do where, we also have one we've done before where it's more tiered, like soft seating for the littler kids. That works really well in those kind of storytelling, moments there in the library. But it's nice when you first walk into the school, that's kind of the first,
yeah.
it sets the tone
Mhm.
for the experience you'll have at the school.
I like that space upstairs, that's really,
Mm-hmm. The LGI.
really.
And there's actually another little exchange space, Paul, if you wanna look up at that one.
There to the left?
Yeah, that area of the campus is actually where the gifted and talented classroom and the other flex classroom is. So one thing is they could use that as a little, kind of their own little exchange space, or they could have a stack of books that maybe that has to do with the curriculum they're doing, could be up there too. It's a nice, cool little
I love the
exchange.
windows in the cafeteria. I
Yeah.
thought that was very nice.
Yeah, that's a nice little addition.
Usually cafeterias seem so closed off.
Mhm.
And since that's where we have so many of our productions at elementary, if it's a
Mhm.
standing room only event, you can put some people outside the windows with crying babies or whatever. that
And they can still
watch, you know? I
see.
mean, as a mom with a lot of little kids at one point, that would have been very nice.
That's true.
That might be something we might look at, Tim, is maybe having a speaker or something with the audio out there in the hallway. Kind of like what you do at like a church, like have like a cry room. Yeah, that hallway right there, it's a nice sized hallway outside the cafeteria. It allows a lot of flow, and I think adding those windows really did help open that up.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And so this hasn't been fully developed out with all the colors and stuff, so. But it'll be very similar setup as Audubon.
Brad, how do y'all feel on stack space for buses and car rider line and stuff like that?
I mean, based off what we've studied so far, we're good. I think it's around almost 1,100 feet of stacking, which is pretty generous.
Good.
And I would imagine with this campus, there'll be a lot of walkers.
Mhm.
So I think
It's a
in
good
our
way.
site plan, providing the correct access for the walkers and bike riders, that might be something that has to adjust as maybe, a lot of times we open up these elementary schools, we can't really foresee how many people are gonna bike. I've had some where there's like hundreds of kids that bike, and in some, there's only a few, so we can designate an area for bike rack and whatnot, and so.
The developer's working with us as well, with the extended shoulders on the roads,
Okay,
that's leading into that parent drop-off area.
good.
Probably a lot of golf carts too.
Hmm.
Oh, we've been seeing that, yeah.
I like the
how
stone.
you have the car rider on the side,
Yeah,
a lot more room to weave around. I like
yeah,
that.
there's more stacking,
Yeah.
length
Yeah.
over there.
That's so pretty.
Yeah, that's exciting. This is really
Yeah.
exciting.
So pretty.
Yeah.
And if you have any, you can think, if you think of something after this meeting, you can always reach out to Tim and he can reach out to us.
Is this something at a stage that, I mean, obviously, this will be shared, so people can look at it. Is this planning to be part of our
It was recorded.
recorded, but on our any websites or anything quite yet, or to be able to?
Yeah, we'll share the presentation in the newsletter tomorrow.
Okay,
Mhm.
awesome.
How high is that little gated fenced area on the top? I mean, how high is that? I don't know if it's the gate fence.
Oh, are you talking about the
Yes.
screens,
Yeah.
the mechanical screens?
They're about 6 feet right now,
They're 6 foot tall.
and that's just to hide the rooftop units. Would only be accessed by maintenance.
They'll look different than that.
I love
That's
it.
just kind of a placeholder.
Kids will
They'll-
be able to go, did you say that was a place?
No.
Kids
No,
will
no,
not
no,
be
no,
able to-
that's a screen to hide mechanical equipment on the roof.
Okay, I thought you had earlier had said they would go out there and I was like, okay.
Oh, no, there's no roof,
Can't
yeah, we
imagine
don't
us
have any
doing that,
roof.
but.
Yeah, we're not doing any roof access for the kids.
Well, it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, when you use the mechanical screens, it's a nice feature because it shields all the
Mhm.
equipment. And we'll use the similar materials that match the building, so it'll just look integral to the building.
You may have said it at the beginning, but designed for how many kids? What's capacity?
I believe all the elementaries are designed for 900 students. And the whole building's about 111 square feet, 111,000 square feet. But it's designed where there's flex classrooms that can be utilized in ebb and flow as the capacity of the campus changes through the years.
How does 111,000 square feet compare to our other elementaries?
It's almost exactly the same.
At least a bottom line. Tim, can you talk for a second just about MEP stuff with this and any changes or things you're excited about from that standpoint?
Yeah, well, we've met with, technology, we've met with maintenance personnel and the MEP, to talk about, the products that we've used in the past and how they performed and, trying to look at always improving the quality of whatever materials we're putting in. One thing on the mechanical system that we are doing a little differently is, we're going with a heat recovery system throughout. It's a little bit different than what we did at Audubon. We think it's gonna be much more effective. It may cost a little more upfront, but it saves a lot of headache down the road. So we think that's gonna be the best approach to take. So.
Is this
so we did
VRF
that.
or VRV or whatever?
Yeah, it's the same, VRF.
Mitsubishi.
system. Yes. So we're using that as well as rooftop units and then, outdoor air units. So the outdoor air units control humidity, rooftop units for big spaces, and the VRF system for classrooms and smaller spaces. Very, very similar to Audubon, obviously, but there's been some really cool changes that Brad and Charles have incorporated into this. It's just improving the product at the end of the day. And what they did at the turn, to me, this is an L-shaped building, and so what they did at the turn by enclosing that little bit of an area that's canopy covered now at Audubon and turn it into more functional space, I think was a really good move. And the things upstairs with the, the exchange spaces in that corridor, just very innovative, and I think it's just gonna be a better product. also spent a lot of time with Dr. Baker,
Yep.
going through what, you know, what's been good and what's not been good. There hasn't been a lot that wasn't good at Audubon. She's really happy with that school, so, but she was very helpful with some areas that we made improvements on.
Yes, she
I
was
would-
very helpful.
I would imagine, like, as all the elementary principals, do you kind of talk to all of them specifically, like with, I don't know, just, I mean, they're the closest to how a school should be.
Well, we try to talk to, you know, the departments. So
Yeah.
we met with athletics, we met
Okay.
with food services, we met with, obviously, maintenance on their input, as well as, you know, the.
Fine arts.
The principal and staff and how, you know, how things have worked out for them on Audubon. But, I mean, Dr. Baker and her staff, to me, have the best input.
Yeah.
As far as how that campus functions. So.
Right. Good.
Right, can you show them some, I saw you guys playing around with kind of the time of day stuff and the light. And
Yeah.
most of them were looking back at Tim. Could you pick a couple of spots in the building and kind of show them different times of day of kind of what that does?
Sure. Yeah, if you go into the learning stair. And so when the learning stair space, we're looking at using, glazing that is more like opaque. I think you guys have seen it at Audubon in the gym, there's some glass block there. But when you use glazing like that, it diffuses the light and it doesn't create glare on it brings natural light in, but it doesn't bring glare onto the screens and the faces of the wall. And so we're looking at doing some strategies like that in that main space. Most of the light, the natural light coming in, that would be coming directly in through a window though, will be like after 2 p.m. So that's why that area was pretty nice, because we could put some north facing and west facing glass. Go over to the learning sphere. So, like go to like if you're sitting on top of the very top of the learning sphere. Gonna put our jetpack on. So that window in front of us, this window right here faces north, and this faces west. So if you think about a school day, the sun's gonna rise over here, come up over the building, and then right about 2 or 3 p.m. we'll start getting a little bit of light in, but by that time most of the kids are gone. But we're looking at these windows where they wouldn't be, you know, we're looking at some strategies if they were, you know, like acid etch or something like that, where it wouldn't bring extreme glare into the building, and we'll kind of run through that and see if that's worth it or not. But it does bring a good amount of natural light during the school day that is indirect. Especially the north window here. So yeah, we'll use this program and run the sun models on it just to make sure how that works in the space.
I wish I could have done that on my house when I built it. I've got certain windows right now that
You're like, where the
make me
blackout
mad,
shades?
yeah.
But it is nice when you have a central area like that to be able to bring natural light into it.
Absolutely. I know just even when I used to sub at BVI, you know, those rooms that had those natural light, those classrooms were always, when I was, the classrooms I was excited to be in,
Right.
just for the space, because it was just always very nice.
Yeah, this exchange space will have natural light, and then also go to the central exchange space. The nice thing about bringing that in that space is that you do have natural light on both sides of the hallway. So light will spill into there, natural light will spill into these spaces.
Oh, wow.
It won't be direct like that, because that's, what time does that say?
7.
7,
Oh.
or, so there'll be, you know, it'll be indirect light most of the time. Maybe over on this other side, there'll be some direct sunlight, but these spaces are so deep in the plan that by the time the sun's up at like 10 a.m., it'll be a nice diffuse light in the building.
Very cool.
That's really incredible.
Yep. Well, we appreciate your time.
Yeah,
and
that's exciting.
If you guys have any other questions, just let Tim know and we'll get those answered.
You guys notice that's a synthetic turf there. I mean, Kristen, you could probably speak for a minute just about how much it matters to not have that be dirt and mud right there when all the elementary kids come out for recess. I think that was the first comment you made to me was, oh, that's a game changer for recess.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, much less maintenance, and a lot of the times with these schools, there's a lot of, dirt and stuff that gets brought in on the kids' shoes. So being able to have that turf right there gets a lot of that off their shoes. We also, with our interior designer, at all these points right here, entry points, we put what's called walk-off carpet, which is a more durable carpet that's got thicker loops in it, and it gets all the dirt and water off the shoes before they go into the main hallways. And it just keeps dirt and grime off of the hallways. But yeah, that turf also really helps.
So what's the square footage of this versus Audubon, the same?
It's the same, except there's a little bit added square foot for this learning stair because
It's essentially the same footprint, they filled in that little alcove that was there before. So we gained a little bit of square footage, but it didn't really change the footprint. So it should be pretty cost effective.
I mean, it's almost the same exact structural grid. When you calculate square footage for a covered area like it was at Audubon, is a little technical, but you calculate it as half the square feet of that space because it's covered, but it's not like air conditioned and all the finishes inside of there. So we're just adding about half the square footage more to this campus by enclosing that area. But it has a really big impact, like Tim was saying, of making it more functional and tied into the campus.
So the cost plus inflation, the cost would be something like Audubon, inflation aside.
I sure hope so. I mean.
That's a loaded question, Tim.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's our plan. I mean, I think we have a good budget for it. And we're gonna start doing some estimating, pretty soon, with a 50% set of drawings, which is essentially what this is. I mean, we can start putting some real numbers to this. We'll get an idea where we're at before too long.
All right, well, I know it's a lot to take in.
I know.
But,
So any other questions and comments?
Love it. I love the
Yeah.
openness, I love the glass, yeah, it's great.
we're excited.
I'm excited to keep on going and see how it all plays out with the logos, and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the most helpful things is, we know how to have school in a building that is this footprint, basically. I mean, I think maybe that's why there aren't as many questions. I mean, we know what this is, we've lived this, it's been well received by our parents and our teachers, and Dr. Baker and her staff have done a good job over there, and everything you walk into, at least in this virtual deal and looking from the plans, I see improvements, kind of like you were saying, Tim. I mean, it's you guys have done a great job with it, and maybe that's why I don't have as many questions, because I think I can feel what this is going to be just because of where we're starting from, having a building that is this footprint.
Yeah, it's a good point. Having this plan as like a prototype elementary school, that allows Tim's been able to refine it and make it better each time. And make sure the same mistakes don't happen again, and make it more efficient, and make the building operate better. So that's the economy of sticking to a plan that you're familiar with. All right, well.
That is
appreciate
it.
your time.
Gary?
Say, what are the questions we're not asking, right? Is there any questions that we're
I mean, you guys asked some good questions. I can't think of anything else.
Well, Brad, thank you. Appreciate the
Yeah.
work you guys are doing,
Yeah.
and Tim, appreciate you. I know you spend a lot of time with these guys to get to this point, so, yeah, look forward to seeing what happens next, but really good looking.
We're excited. We'll keep rolling.
All right,
Thank
well,
you.
thank you.
Yes.
All right, no other questions? We need a motion to end the workshop. Stacy and Dasha, first, second, all in favor? Workshop adjourned. Thank you.